Life will always test you. There will be days when everything seems like it's falling apart, when the storm around you feels too heavy to handle. But here's the truth. Storms are not there to destroy you. They are there to reveal your true strength. Think about it. If the sea always stayed calm, no sailor would ever learn how to navigate. The storm is what makes you stronger, sharper, and more prepared for the journey ahead. When difficulties come, most people ask, "Why me?" But the real question is, why not me? Every successful person you admire has been through storms you can't even imagine. Peter Dinklage faced rejection after rejection before the world recognized his brilliance. He could have quit, but he embraced the storms of failure and turned them into fuel. That's why today his story inspires millions. Storms are uncomfortable, yes. They break your routine. They shake your confidence. They push you to the edge. But that edge is exactly where growth begins. It's in those moments when you think you can't take it anymore that your real power comes alive. When you stand in the middle of chaos and still refuse to break, you discover parts of yourself you never knew existed. Imagine a tree in the middle of a storm. The winds push it, the rain batters it, but the tree doesn't run away. It digs its roots deeper into the ground. That's what storms do for us too. They force us to dig deeper into our strength, deeper into our willpower, deeper into our purpose. And the deeper your roots, the taller you will stand when the storm passes. The truth is, storms don't last forever. The rain stops, the winds calm down, and when it does, you realize you are still standing, stronger than before, more confident than before, more prepared than before. That's the gift of every storm. It teaches you that you are tougher than anything that tries to break you. So the next time life throws a storm at you, don't run from it. Don't complain about it. Don't think it's the end. Instead, embrace it. Look it in the eye and say, "Do your worst because I am unbreakable." That's how warriors are made. That's how legends are born. Remember, storms are not punishments, they are preparations. And if you embrace the storm instead of fearing it, you'll walk out of it unshaken, unbroken, and unstoppable. Pain is something we all try to avoid. Nobody wakes up in the morning hoping for hardship, heartbreak, or disappointment. Yet pain is one of the greatest teachers in life. It's uncomfortable, it burns, it hurts, but it's also the sign that growth is happening. Think about it. When you work out, your muscles ache. That ache is not weakness, it's proof that your muscles are growing stronger. In the same way, when life gives you pain, it's not a signal to quit. It's a sign that you're on the edge of transformation. Every successful person has walked through pain. Athletes train through sore muscles, broken bones, and sleepless nights. Entrepreneurs face failure after failure, losing money, losing people's trust, sometimes even losing themselves in the process. But they all know one truth. The pain they feel today becomes the power they carry tomorrow. Pain forces you to dig deeper. When everything is easy, you don't need strength. You don't need resilience. But when pain enters your life, you have two choices. Either you let it break you or you let it build you. The people who rise above are the ones who choose to let pain become their fuel. They understand that pain is not permanent, but the lessons it leaves behind are. Think about Peter Dinklage again. He lived in tiny apartments, struggled financially, and went years without recognition. That pain was real, it was heavy, it was frustrating, it was humiliating at times. But instead of letting it crush him, he embraced it. That pain became his proof of growth, his proof that he was moving toward something greater. And eventually that pain carried him to stages and screens where the world finally saw his talent. The truth is, pain reveals who you really are. When everything is going your way, it's easy to smile, to stay positive, to keep moving. But when life knocks you down, when you're tired, when you feel like giving up, that's when your true strength shows up. If you can endure pain without breaking, if you can smile even while hurting, if you can keep walking even with heavy feet, then nothing in this world can stop you. Always remember, pain has a purpose. It stretches you. It refines you. It shapes you into someone stronger than before. It's proof that you're alive, that you're growing, that you're becoming the kind of person who can handle the weight of success. So don't run from pain. Don't curse it. Don't let it make you bitter. Instead, embrace it as your proof of growth. Tell yourself, if it hurts, it means I'm changing. If it hurts, it means I'm leveling up. Because pain is never wasted. It's always preparing you for the strength you'll need tomorrow. The strongest people in this world are not the ones who have never fallen. They are the ones who never stayed down. What separates winners from quitters is not money, not talent, not luck, it's mindset. An unbreakable mindset is the armor that protects you when life throws its hardest punches. The world can strip you of opportunities, it can take away your resources, it can even crush your plans, but if your mind remains unshaken, you will always find a way to rise again. Everything begins in the mind. If your mind breaks, your body follows. If your mind gives up, your future collapses. But if your mind stays strong, even when your heart aches, even when your body is tired, even when the world doubts you, nothing can defeat you. That is why cultivating an unbreakable mindset is the most important thing you can do for yourself. Think about this. Every challenge you face, every pain you endure, begins as a battle in your head. You hear the voice that says, you can't do it. You're not good enough. You'll never make it. Most people lose because they listen to that voice, but those who win are the ones who talk back. They replace fear with faith, doubt with determination, and weakness with willpower. They tell themselves, I will not break. I will not quit. I will not give up. That inner dialogue is what turns ordinary people into legends. History is filled with people who proved that mindset is stronger than circumstances. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, yet his mind remained free and unbroken, and eventually he became the leader of a nation. Peter Dinklage was told over and over that he didn't fit the mold for Hollywood, but his mindset refused to accept defeat, and he carved his own path. These stories remind us that no matter what happens outside, the real battlefield is always inside your mind. An unbreakable mindset doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It doesn't mean you won't feel doubt. It doesn't mean you won't fall. It means that no matter how many times you fall, no matter how much it hurts, no matter how loud the doubts become, you decide to rise again. You decide to keep going. You decide to believe in yourself even when no one else does. Your body can be exhausted. Your circumstances can be unfair. Your resources can be limited. But your mind? That is limitless if you choose to make it so. And once your mind becomes unbreakable, everything else in life starts to bend in your favor. So guard your thoughts, train your focus, build resilience, because when your mind is unbreakable, nothing and no one, not pain, not failure, not rejection, can ever truly break you. Setbacks are a part of life. No matter how smart you are, no matter how hard you work, you will face moments when things don't go your way. You'll fail tests, lose opportunities, hear no more times than you can count. For most people, setbacks are like walls, they hit them and stop. But for those with vision, setbacks are not walls, they are doors waiting to be opened. The key is how you see them. You can see a setback as a dead end, or you can see it as fuel that pushes you further. Every failure carries energy. That energy can either drain you or drive you. The choice is yours. When you let a setback make you bitter, you stop moving. But when you let it light a fire inside you, you start pushing harder than ever before. Think about Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times while creating the light bulb. If he had treated each failure as defeat, we would still be living in darkness. Instead, he turned every failed attempt into fuel, saying, I haven't failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. That mindset transformed his setbacks into his greatest breakthrough. The same is true for Peter Dinklage. For years, Hollywood shut the door on him. Casting directors rejected him. Producers overlooked him. People told him he would never succeed because of his appearance. But every rejection became fuel. Instead of quitting, he sharpened his craft. Instead of giving up, he kept auditioning. And when the world finally noticed him, he was ready. His setbacks didn't stop him, they built him. Setbacks are not punishments, they are preparations. They prepare you for the next level of success. They teach you lessons that victories never could. They humble you, they shape your character, and most importantly, they remind you how badly you want your dream. Because if a small setback can stop you, maybe you never really wanted it in the first place. But if setbacks only make you hungrier, stronger, and more determined, then nothing can hold you back. The next time you face a setback, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this teaching me? How can this fuel my growth? That shift in perspective will change everything. You'll stop seeing failure as failure. You'll start seeing it as feedback. And with every piece of feedback, you'll get closer and closer to success. Remember, the road to greatness is not smooth. It's full of bumps, blocks, and barriers. But each one is a test of how badly you want to keep moving. If you let setbacks stop you, you lose. But if you turn them into fuel, they will carry you further than you ever imagined. So don't fear setbacks. Collect them, use them, let them power your journey. Because when setbacks become your fuel, nothing can break your spirit and nothing can stop your rise. Life is unpredictable. You can plan every detail, you can prepare for every outcome. But sometimes the world still flips everything upside down. Circumstances are rarely in your control. You can't control the economy. You can't control other people's actions. You can't control accidents, rejection, or sudden changes. But there is one thing you can always control: your inner strength. And that strength can carry you through storms that would crush anyone else. Outer circumstances are temporary. They shift, they change, they rise, they fall. One day you have money, the next day you don't. One day people support you, the next day they abandon you. One day you're healthy, the next day you're struggling. If your happiness depends only on what's happening outside, you'll always live like a prisoner of circumstances. But if your strength comes from within, nothing outside can truly break you. Inner strength is the decision to stay calm when the world screams chaos. It's the discipline to keep moving forward when everything around you tells you to stop. It's the faith to believe in better days even when today looks hopeless. This strength isn't built in comfort. It's built in trials, the moments when you cry but keep pushing, the nights when you're exhausted but refuse to quit, the days when you're alone but still choose to fight. History proves it again and again. People who seemed powerless on the outside became unstoppable because of their inner strength. Viktor Frankl, a man imprisoned in Nazi concentration camps, lost everything: his family, his freedom, his comfort. Yet he refused to let those outer circumstances destroy his inner world. He discovered meaning in suffering, and that inner strength allowed him not only to survive but to inspire millions through his book, Man's Search for Meaning. The same principle applies in our daily lives. Think about the setbacks you've faced: financial struggles, rejections, health issues, loneliness. In those moments, the outside world seemed against you. But the fact that you're still here, listening, still breathing, still fighting, is proof that your inner strength carried you through. You may not even realize how strong you already are, because inner strength doesn't shout. It whispers. It doesn't show off, it simply endures. Your power doesn't come from what you own or where you are. It comes from who you are inside. If your inner strength is solid, you can be poor and still feel rich. You can be rejected and still feel worthy. You can be in pain and still keep moving forward. That is the kind of power no one can take away from you. So stop worrying about circumstances you can't control. They will change with time. Focus instead on building your inner strength. Train your mind, guard your spirit, believe in yourself. Because when your strength comes from within, outer storms may shake you, but they will never break you. Every person in this world is born with limits. Limits of time, limits of energy, limits set by society, limits whispered by fear. From the moment we're young, we hear those voices. You can't do this. People like you don't achieve that. Stay where you are. Don't dream too big. And slowly we start building walls in our own minds. But here's the truth: limits are not real. They are illusions created to test how badly you want to rise. Rising beyond limits means refusing to let those illusions trap you. It means challenging the voice that says stop here, and instead asking, what if I go further? Think about athletes who break world records. Before someone runs a new fastest time or lifts a new heaviest weight, people say it's impossible. But once it's done, suddenly the impossible becomes possible. The limit was never real. It only existed until someone decided to break it. Life will try to put limits on you. Maybe it's your background. Maybe it's your environment. Maybe it's people around you who doubt you. They will point out every reason why you can't succeed. But limits are not what others say about you. Limits are only what you choose to believe about yourself. If you accept their doubts, you stop growing. But if you rise against them, you discover a strength that shocks even you. Peter Dinklage was told countless times that Hollywood had no place for him. That was a limit, a wall put in front of him, but he refused to stay behind it. He worked, he struggled, he waited, and when his chance came, he proved every limit wrong. Now millions of people look at him as proof that you can rise beyond whatever boundary the world tries to put around you. Rising beyond limits doesn't mean you'll never fail. In fact, you will fail many times, but each failure becomes a stepping stone pushing you higher. It doesn't mean the journey will be easy, far from it. It means when you're exhausted, when you've given everything, when you think you can't go one more step, you still rise. You rise for your dream, for your purpose, for the life you refuse to give up on. The truth is, there are no real limits except the ones you place on yourself. And once you decide to rise, no wall can hold you, no fear can stop you, no failure can break you. Every time you get up after being knocked down, every time you keep fighting when others would quit, every time you stretch yourself beyond what you thought was possible, you are proving that nothing can break you. So rise. Rise when you're tired. Rise when you're doubted. Rise when you're broken. Rise beyond every limit until the world has no choice but to see your strength. Because in the end, your life will not be defined by the limits you faced, but by the limits you refuse to accept.